By modeling compassion, empathy, and understanding for each person's unique situation, Rose challenges her peers to meet patients where they are. And I am so honored tonight to present this year's Wetzel Award to Rose Horton.
Thank you again. I don't even have enough words to express my gratitude. I love nursing. When I did my clinical rotation in obstetrics and I had a chance to see my first birth, I was in love. I was transfixed. I could not believe it. It was such an emotional connection. I felt connected with the patient, with her partner, with the family, with the providers. Just in that moment of time, it felt like such a sacred experience. I was like, this is definitely what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is phenomenal. In 2010, I'll always remember, I got a book from Amnesty International that came to my office. The name of the book was Deadly Delivery. And I remember reading some of the stories in that book. And that was the first time that I really heard anything much about maternal mortality, maternal morbidity. And I'm reading these stories of women saying that nobody's listening to them. And I cried. I could not believe it. I'm like, where does this happen? How is it possible that patients, that women and families would be ignored and that they would end up dying because we didn't pay attention to them? And in the preface of that book, the person who wrote it at that time, John Lee Wook, he wrote something that really resonated with me. And it's the fact that women and infant are the bellwether of the community, right? They're the ones that indicate that the community is doing well and that it has a future. But it didn't seem like everyone thought or felt the same. And that continues to be a problem. Shortly thereafter, I remember going to conferences and reading articles and seeing things about risk factors. So a risk factor for preterm labor was being Black. A risk factor for low birth weight infants was being Black. A risk factor for high C-section rates was being Black. And feeling so overwhelmed with that information because you're Black forever, right? Your skin doesn't change. Does that mean that everyone that looks like me is going to have a proclivity for those terrible outcomes? And we all know that race is a social construct. What we know now is that it's not race, it's actually racism. That is the risk factor. The impact of racism on Black and brown people's bodies that causes the weathering, that is what's causing the situation right now. And that is the opportunity that we have. If you look at our data in the state of Georgia, our maternal morbidity and mortality, maternal mortality means death related to pregnancy. So what we know about morbidity and mortality is that 60% of it is preventable. 60%, regardless of age, regardless of income, regardless of your zip code, regardless of your weight or your BMI, regardless of all these factors, Black, Indigenous, and people of color die at a higher rate, 3 to 4 times more likely than all other races. And I don't know about you, but I'm not okay with that. So when we have that kind of data, we have no choice but to really jump into it and to really dissect it and to really make a commitment to say, what can we do? What can I do to change this? So it was in that moment of frustration 2 years ago that I created the hashtag Not On My Watch, because I felt very frustrated. How is it that our country that spends the most money per capita in healthcare still has such an astronomical rate of morbidity and mortality? And I said, no, not on my watch. It was a hashtag created by a nurse for nurses, because nurses are the highest workforce contingent in healthcare. There's 4.2 million of us, and about 350,000 of us work in women and infant services. So I thought, if every nurse, prior to entering that sacred space with our patients, will say, not on my watch. What does that mean? That means in the 12 hours that I'm caring for you, the 8 hours I'm caring for you if you're in the clinic, in the time that I'm caring for you, I will advocate for you, I will listen to you, I will believe you. I will practice evidence-based care. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you have a sacred, that you have a safe, and that you have the birthing experience that you want. This is my life's work. We've got to change this, and I know that we can. So, with a heart full of gratitude to those who nominated me, to Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies who selected me from all their submissions, I want to say thank you so much for this award. Thank you for seeing value in my work. Please know that you will see me, because I'm going to come up with innovative, creative, and disruptive models of care in the very near future to address this. And I encourage all of you, let's join in this. I love my community. You guys know that. I believe in partnering with you. Let's partner together and let's fix this. Not just for the state of Georgia, but as Georgia goes, so does the rest of the nation. So thank you again for this award. Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. And thank you to my family and friends. Thank you.